Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Heavenly Parent Holy Community Oceania Hundoke. And today we have Vivi Holdem, who will be presenting. It's Sunday, the 15th of December 2024, or the 15th of November in the 12th year of Chumal Group. So thank you all for coming, and let's begin always with a bow to our true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind. Chanji Champunim Chombe, Paro. And let's recite our family pledge, both in Korean and English.
가전맨세 3. 전국 주인, 우리 가족은 참 사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과 판조권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Family pledge number 3. Our family, the owner of Triangle, pledges to perfect the 4 great realms of heart, the 3 great kingships, and the realm of the royal family by centering on true love. Thank you. I'd like to ask Mr. Arai if he could offer the opening prayer, please.
Our dear Heavenly Parent and our dear true Father and true Mother, thank you for new day, Sunday morning. We gather here looking for your heart. We feel always, all the time, anytime, from beginning to end, you love us. We try to respond, we try to understand, we try to connect with you, especially this historical time. Incredible history we standing, especially age of true parent. True father is spiritual world, and true mother standing in strongly. We don't know how difficult mission true mother standing to reveal, to realize, to establish to heavenly parents original idea that is true. We really pray for that. So many things happening. Yesterday we look at in Korea, President Yu was impeached, and so strong opposition party, and after they impeached, even after they impeached, President Yoon gave a long speech. When read it, there are many good things, right things, true things. But often, many occasions, people do not understand. It is everyone really are impacted many directions. We pray for that. We remember when Jesus was crucified, did not say so much. I think because people could not understand. Heavenly Parent, this is a time of truly we connect with you, and always we try to establish strong relationship with you. Humbly, we pray and we educate, looking for our portion responsibility. Thank you at this time. Today, Vivi Holdem share for us today. Thank you today we listen. We truly thank you for for this opportunity. Sunday and very close to Christmas, and Jesus' heart and also Heavenly Parent heart, especially we try to looking forward to support to Mother. Thank you today. Thank you this moment. I offer this my prayer. My name Yoshikawa with Center Blessed Family. Aju.
Thank you, and let's give a warm welcome to Vivi as she shares this morning.
You see that?
Yes.
I mean, can ask.
Can you see that, the first slide?
That's looking good. Yeah.
Good. Good morning, everybody. It's good to see everybody. And with all the technical issues hopefully solved, we couldn't get the camera to work, but it should be working. So it's great to see everybody. Yeah, so as Mr. Rai was saying, my name is Vivi Holdem. I'm from New Zealand. You may not all know me. And my maiden name was Brand, so that's why it's like that. So yeah, I'd like to share my testimony this morning. I did give it, but earlier last year in New Zealand, but I added, there's a few additions at the end. This will take us over to Northern Europe and Scandinavia to Denmark. I was born in Denmark on the 22nd of March, 1959. And this is the first known photo that I'm in. And I grew up in Svendborg. It is an old port city. And in this photo, I'm in the middle with my older brother and sister. And I'm the one in the high chair, looking all wondering what's going on, I think. And on the left, would that be in there? I know it's gone now. That's good. I think that's good there. Anyway, yeah, the left photo is my maternal grandparents. And my grandfather, he was a sailmaker, and he sailed on the old ships in his young days, but my grandmother wouldn't allow him to do that after they married. So he got a job in a local shipping company where he repaired sails for sailboats, old and new. We often visited them, my grandparents, with my mother, and because they were very close family, and we lived close by as well. And in the other photo, you'll see my parents, father, mother, and us three siblings. We were very close as we were growing up. Especially was I close to my brother. We had only 2 years apart, and we had the same interests in our lives, similar anyway. My father worked making ceramics. He was very skilled with his hands and also a laborer, but unfortunately hurt his back and couldn't do that anymore. But he later on got the opportunity to train as a tailor and became quite a good one. Okay, forward a little bit in time, and in the photo to your left, I'm the one on the right, and the other girl was a beautiful long blonde hair was a friend that I grew up with from an early age on. So, well, I have still seeing her from time to time, and her mother was taking us up to school on that day, and she also took that photo. And yeah, it was an exciting time, even though I grew up in a time when sadly many families had stopped going to church, and my family was also no different. However, at my school, we were taught stories from the Bible, which I really enjoyed, I remember. And I think it also helped lay the foundation for my faith later on in life. Another good influence was this girl and her family. She had her mother, and she also lived with her grandparents, whose grandfather had been a minister. And they were very, very, very good, genuine good Christians. And their home was always nice and peaceful. And I was often invited to come and play with her. As you can see, she had Down syndrome, and I think they were just happy that someone wanted to come and play with her, and which I did. And also they would always say grace before a meal, which I found really interesting, and I quite liked it. And this photo here is an outing to an old castle with also her mother, this girl's mother. Her name was Ellen, had taken us to, which was very exciting when we got that opportunity. And here we are on a little walk through the woods. And okay, we'll go to the next photo. During my teenage years, I was thinking a lot about things, especially things like what is the purpose of life, if any, and where do we go when we die? Do we go somewhere else? And desperately looking for answers while carrying on. By the time I finished school, I had worked out somewhat a plan that I decided to follow. And the first step was, since I also had developed an interest in the rest of the world, learning about other languages and what other people were doing around the world. And my first trip took me to the UK. And if you look on the first one, Copenhagen is over here on the yellow dot, and Esbjerg is here, and this is where my ferry trip, my first big trip away from home, over to England, over to the UK in Harwich, and then from there on to London. And I was doing 1 year as an au pair, which means you live with a family, and you may look after some children and do light housework, and also being able to attend English classes to learn English. And this is the family I stayed with. Very nice couple, mom and dad, and they had 2 little boys. One was only a year old, and the other boy was a little bit older. He was at school. But I enjoyed that very much, even though I sometimes got homesick. So after 1 year and having a great experience, I had been very homesick, so I was very happy to get back home. Okay. Okay, we forward a little bit. And in 1980, while walking on a mall in my hometown with my old bicycle, I met my spiritual mother. We'll just go to the next. This is my spiritual mother, and whom I met while walking on a mall in my hometown. And her name is Ellie. She said, when she stopped me, she said, as he was in a group of young people working to build an ideal world. And she also had chosen my hometown for her 40 days pioneer mission, which a lot of members did at that time. They chose where to go for 40 days by themselves, or maybe sometimes a couple. And she came home to my place. She asked if she could come and see me, and she explained a little bit more about what this was all about. And I thought, this is different. I thought this is more what I quite like the thought of this. And also I had realized earlier on that in order for each individual human being to grow up well, the family needed to be in harmony. That was sort of my conclusion. But after hearing what he was talking about, my interest had really sparked, especially after hearing the Divine Principle lectures, which I was invited to go to a 3-day workshop, a weekend workshop site that they had just purchased, so that people from around Denmark could join. And so I was very interested when I heard about the principle of creation, which I really enjoyed, and also even just the way that brothers and sisters were relating with each other. Then after that, over the summer, at the end of the summer, I decided to go when I was invited to come to a 7-day workshop in the UK. In Denmark, they didn't have anything like that. It was quite a pioneering stage still. And so they would take guests over to the UK for workshops, longer workshops. And finally, I was starting to get some answers to my questions that I had in my earlier teens. And it was a big trip that they were going on, and I came along. And because after the workshop, we went to visit some Danish members that were living in the Bradford Centre in the north of England. And no. And the photo to your left, we go back a little bit, sorry, that got a bit mixed up, but that photo is from that workshop site in Denmark my first one. And there are some members. This is brother, his name is Martin, and here's Ellie, my spiritual mother. And for some reason, this photo has got several little older ladies that were very, very lovely. They really liked coming to workshops, and some other guests. And I think I must have taken that photo, so I'm not in it. But I'm in this one, sitting down there. This is a sister that was in Bradford. And this is a brother. His name is Kai. And here's Ellie and guests. And this is a brother from England, whose name I can't quite remember. This is on an outing we had. It was a beautiful landscape in the background there. And then one evening in the center, Ellie, my spiritual mother, did an evening prayer. And then after her prayer, she asked me to pray as well, which I never done before. In little old churches in Denmark, it's all set out what you pray. It's not a personal prayer. So for me, this was the first. And during my prayer, I had a spiritual experience that I'll never forget. it was like a lightning going through my body, very strong but warm like the sun, and I felt like a message from heaven that saying that you have found what you've been looking for, and I couldn't ignore that. So I felt very special about this group of people that I was now visiting also in another country. Okay, we going to, and in this photo is when I actually joined. I think she was very proud of the moment, my spiritual mother. And because also, I didn't mention that yet, but actually my next step was going to be, or I considered going to move to Copenhagen, maybe some better job opportunities, because I learned some skills. I thought I would try and get a job, but so I thought, okay, it matched up with my ideas moving into the center. So this is where I've moved into the center, starting church activities, which could be a little bit intimidating for me. Anyway, it didn't take me very long to decide to join and move in. And initially, fundraising was quite intimidating for me. And then first my spiritual mother would walk with me fundraising, and then when it was my turn to approach the next house, I was not so thrilled, but I knew I had to do it, so I did. And when the first lady asked, when I asked the first lady, she bought our product, which was postcards and our own magazine that we printed, and then I was a lot happier. I could carry on. Yeah. And then another experience was the CARP convention in 1987 in Berlin, where Holdem is performing and speaking as well. And this one here is a march. We went through the city chanting that the wall must come down. And it surely did, didn't it? And then also I was doing mostly fundraising, and we would fundraise mostly around Copenhagen, but also we would go to other places, especially shopping malls and businesses. I enjoyed that. Yeah, I actually got to enjoy doing fundraising. And then so our national leader at the time, he was, well, the couple was from Switzerland and Austria, and Switzerland was a good place to fundraise. So we also, in summers, we went down there, and he had his elderly mother, and we actually stayed in her house and did fundraising. And that was also a very good experience. And where are we now? And time for the blessing. And in one of the first days in 1989, I had been home for Christmas, and the national leader rang me up and said I should come straight away back to Copenhagen, and you're going to Korea. So there was going to be a matching and blessing, and I was very excited, of course, to be able to go. And I was the only member from Denmark, but there we were, over 2,000 members gathered in the McCall factory, which is in the left photo. This is outside the grounds of the McCall factory, just outside of Seoul in Korea. And here we are, Peter and I. We've matched on the first day of 3 days that Father did matchings. And yes, so this was just after the matching. We had time doing that, walking around in the little village, having a coffee. That was quite interesting. very different from Denmark. And in this photo here is taken after the blessing. And here we are in the left photo. We are sitting at the table having a meal in our little local church center. We were designated to go to Seoul, along with in our little center. There was one other international couple, which was, you can see Alan sitting there, and his wife is June Saunders, and mostly there were Japanese members, and very humble situation, but it was very, very nice in many ways. And we would get up early in the mornings, and we would help deliver the Seike Ubo newspaper that True Father had just started. And we'd get up around 4 o'clock and go to our area, and every house, we would give every house a paper. And afterwards, in the afternoons, we would go and visit. We would go and visit the people and ask them to become customers. That was our mission as well. But that was, of course, very hard, because we could only really speak to people that were able to speak English. But it was very exciting, because we met some very interesting people still. Anyway, the other photo is of an outing that we went to in Everland, which is a theme park. This was in the early days of the theme park. Here are all the members in our church, except for some people at the left, an elderly lady, which I think it was the pastor's mother, and 2 other people. The rest are also very excited to go on an outing. And this is our Moxonym, our pastor, which was a very kind and caring man. And then we have this one here, which is, this is my turn, which is our turn to cook. June and I, we cooked. We had most of the ingredients in the kitchen, but we did have to go shopping for a few things. So we were trying to learn a few Korean words so we could manage. Anyway, we learned a few words just to manage to get by, to buy what we needed for our shopping, which was quite a challenge, but also very exciting. We had some smiles on there. And then, yeah, we stayed. We did actually move to a different church at the Cheongdaemun, a more central church center in Seoul, a bigger one. And then altogether, we stayed about 1.5 years during that time. And also, we had a trip. We had a trip back to New Zealand during that time, which was very exciting for me to come and visit Peter's home country, and different members, like I remember Kathy taking me and a couple of other members out so we could do some fundraising in order to get back, because we really wanted to get back to Korea to carry on with helping with the newspaper. So I stayed in New Zealand. We stayed in New Zealand for 3 months, and when we went back again to Korea and to the other church. So that's that. And then coming to New Zealand to live. And this is when in 1919, and the following year, our son was born. And in the other photo, Nikki is also arrived. And for 3 years, we lived at the church farm in Onifero, where we had many workshops. And in this photo on the left, there's many members there with their children and also guests, some guests. And I think members enjoyed coming out in the countryside. In the other photo, we've had a lecture, and it may have been our Honorable Reverend President Song giving the lecture. And there's also a photo there of Reverend Ho, who also came. And we had internal guidance and lectures. And then yeah. And also this is our place in Glen Eden in Auckland. And we were doing in our local church, we were doing some Women's Federation work, especially with Ruth sitting down the bottom, and Junko, and then also the Japanese missionaries. At that time, we were doing that. Yeah. And here we are celebrating the 4th blessing anniversary. This is the other couples from New Zealand. They were blessed at 1989. Mark Wicks, James and Setsuko, and Bruce isn't there, but Mark is there, and Rosie and Barry. Barry might be taking the photo, I think, and Warren and Barbara, and Peter and I. And there we are cutting the cake. And then in 1996, we are taking quite a big step. There we are in Denmark. We thought we'd go back and visit for, now we are 4 in the family, and we wanted to go and visit my family especially. And there we are. Peter ended up with a job on a farm milking cows that he always wanted to do. And instead of 3 weeks, we actually stayed for 7 years. And here we are celebrating True God's Day. And now our youngest have arrived, Natalie. So we're 5. And in the other photo, we're celebrating Nikki's 7th birthday, along with my mother in the middle, my brother and sister. And that was very exciting. And in this photo, I've been attending the Blessed Wives 21-day workshop in Poland when Chongpyong Providence came to Europe. And while in Denmark, we had discovered that Axel, our son, had autism. And so during the workshop, I had a chance to find out that the best opportunity for him was to go to Chongpyong for as long as possible and as often as possible. Was one of the reasons why we the following year decided to leave Denmark and go back to New Zealand. And also this photo is taken at the registration blessing, which we also attended. Peter drove down to Poland from Denmark with the 3 kids, which was a challenge in itself. Anyway, that's what we did. Okay. And here we are. We have packed up our car and we are on our way back to New Zealand and on the way also to Korea. We packed up the car, but before that we were going to have a trip around Europe we had made contact with some church families that we've gone to visit on our way. I think Axel's sitting there waving. And here we are visiting Cleve House in England, and underneath we're visiting the Vanderstocks in Holland. I think we're having breakfast. And the photo on the right is quite an exciting one because this photo is taken in Vienna, Austria, and in 2003. And then we have and now this is now 2 years ago, not 2022, when Nikki went to the blessing, and this is her husband Yongi. Just after they're being blessed, they wanted to be blessed in Vienna, Austria, and they had this photo taken afterwards. It's more or less the exact same spot as he was standing on 19 years before. And now back to, this is a photo taken in our back garden. And here we are, our little beautiful grandson in the middle. And his name is Torfin. And this is Nikki's and Yongi's little son, beautiful son, enjoying the beach we have here in Partia. By the way, Yongi likes fishing. They enjoy going for walks when they're not working. And thank you very much for listening. I hope it was understandable. And yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Vivi, for sharing your life story and your adventures in our movement and your life of faith. It's very, very nice to see, and yeah, it's good to get to know you, and I don't really know you that much, but hearing your life and seeing the places you went and the experiences you had, and very close to experiences in England, just reminded me, because that's where I joined, and in the similar time in the 80s. And so, seeing the pictures of that time just brought back a lot of memories. And I was very much liking what you said in the beginning with your friend who had Down syndrome, and staying there, and how you went to their home and felt at peace, and that experience, and then you had your own a miracle in a way, or an experience of having lightning go through your body, this warm light, and being told that you've found what you've been looking for. And I think as we all we're looking for that family where we are fully welcomed and loved, and it's true, as you said, we need harmony in the home, and it's only when we do have a harmonious home that we find real happiness. So it was very, very nice to see your family and to see your grandchild, and I'm sure there's many new adventures for them in the future, and also for you as well. And I don't know if you have any more plans to go back to Europe, with the grandchildren.
Technical assistance.
There you go.
Yeah, actually, it just reminded me I should really be saying that Nikki's husband, I don't know how many of you know my daughter Nikki. She has been in Australia to some workshops, but Yeah, her husband is from her parents are from his parents are from South America, but they have been living in Spain, and yeah, they would really love to go back to Spain, at least for visiting. Yeah, because that's where he's from, and he would like, of course, his parents are over there living in Spain. They'd love to see their grandson, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they would like to go. Yeah, Nikki would like to go to Spain as well. Yeah, they're hoping that we often talk about going back to Europe, but yeah, it's a bit trickier now. It might not be so easy. We actually want to go to Korea before we go to Denmark.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for sharing. And if there's anyone else who likes to make a comment or to share, please do.
John, when you mentioned you joined in England, I want just to add one thing that because sometimes I wondered why didn't I join in England? I went over there, but I didn't. I probably wasn't quite ready yet to join. But my my spiritual mother, Ellie, I don't know if anybody knows her. She was a great musician. She was just so natural playing guitar and singing. And her spiritual mother was from England. And I think, unfortunately, she's passed away, but her name was Mary. And they always said that I looked a lot like her. So I just thought I'd mention that.
I see. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, Mr. Rai, go ahead.
Thank you, Vivi, today. And we couldn't see you long time. And when I went to New Zealand, and I decided to visit your farm at North Auckland. I think 1.5 driving, and I was very warmly welcome. And you are really wonderful couple, warm and such incredible love and care with other people. And I had a good time. I have a coffee, some kind of cake. I can't remember. But also, I was watching Nikki's horse riding, and she's in good art. Yeah, so I think you manage well and really looking after your children well, and I had a really good experience. So nice to see, nice to hear today, and thank you for your incredible journey and testimony today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rai. Yeah, it was a great time, actually, when you came up to visit our little farm and having a workshop.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Reverend Stone, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much, Vivi. Lovely testimony. Really lovely to see all those old photos and yeah, your journey. It's interesting. I do recall some of those people in the photo. Martin Herbst, the one with the really red hair. Yeah, he came to our, I think it was 40-day workshop, 120-day workshop in New York, representing Denmark. So yeah, he's a really bright brother. Anyway, yeah, thank you. Lovely testimony. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thanks, Greg. Yeah, he was very good at lecturing, and he was very energetic and dynamic, and he gave great lectures. Yeah, he was a great brother.
Yes, Rex, you want to say? Yeah.
Yeah. Morning, everyone. Thank you, Auntie Vivi, for your experience. Also, I just want to get or mention or something which I think the, let's say, interesting of especially my elders' testimonies. We also say that leave a legacy to a young, this and that. But I think one of the positive thing I can see in these testimonies, especially if our young will have time to listen to these experiences, that can motivate them more and realize how much the elders they went through, they work hard, maybe can motivate them in many cases. But this what I think interesting the testimonies. Of course, you can just listen, enjoy, but what are we learning? For elders, we just pass through all this experience. For the young ones, they need to learn from the elders how much it was a bit, not a bit, it was a bit sacrificial, the way elders went. If they can get a thing that can help them in their life of faith. Because nowadays, we know the life is going almost opposite the way we grown up. So that's my viewpoint. So thank you, Auntie Vivi, for your experience. I'm from Solomon Island in Honiara. So I never been to New Zealand. A little bit time in Australia and some elders in Australia. Only New Zealand. I never been there, but I know Reverend Jeffrey Fires because he was in Zambia also. I wish if I could have chance to meet you people physically. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rex. Thank you. Yes, Kathy, go ahead.
Vivi mentioned that we went fundraising. Vivi was very unique. We had a wonderful time fundraising around, and they came from Korea and she had her own toys. So every night she would get every toy and pack her bag, and she would talk to every single toy and say, look, I'm going to find a really good home for you today. You're going to be loved and all sorts of things. She would talk to every single individual toy and religiously put them all in her bag. And when she came back from fundraising, they had all found a beautiful home. Her bag was empty every single day, and every toy had found a lovely home. So she was really unique in doing this, and they managed to get back to Korea quite soon. So if she wants to go back to Denmark and go to Korea on the way, they will achieve it. No problems at all.
Yeah, it's great.
Actually, thanks. Hi, Kath. Yes, thanks for reminding me of that. Now that you mentioned, I do remember that I was a bit silly, but I guess I was relieved that I'm starting to enjoy fundraising, perhaps, and I was quite keen to get back to Korea and
You'll get there.
follow, do what we, get back to the mission, so to speak.
You'll achieve it.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, Mary, go ahead.
Good morning. Thank you so much for your testimony. It's really beautiful to hear your story. I've never actually met you. Yeah, maybe one day. But yeah, thank you. You've had really quite a amazing life, and it was really wonderful that you could be guided to meet true parents. Yeah, and yeah, thank you so much.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much, Mary. Yeah, I've never, as far as I know, not met you. Yeah, thanks for that comment. Yeah, we all have special lives and ways and yeah, futures, I believe.
Thank you. Yes, Reverend Kenji.
Good morning, Holdem family and all brothers and sisters of Oceania. So thank you very much, Vivi, for the testimony. Actually, this is actually new to me. Yeah, I remember that you gave their testimony on the Sunday service some time ago. But yeah, really refreshing all the slide that you show us, and some faces yeah, our members in the early days, and quite excited to see, especially Japanese missionaries who got involved in the members, but never saw the young face of them. So quite interesting the presentation today. Actually, some history of the New Zealand we could say, and for me, actually, Holdem family is the one that showing me typical New Zealand life. Yeah, one day I really would like to join you for the farming and experience the nature more, so that to get closer to God, really. So anyway, thank you for your commitment to the God and True Parents in Pattaya, in Taranaki. Basically, just your family and children's family there, and keep faith in there. And I really hope that Heavenly Travel Messiah activities keep developing there. And yeah, I always remember the beautiful holy ground over there. There's a canoe statue. Yeah, so anyway, I really hope that your plan gonna be executed according to the heaven's will. All right, thank you once again for your testimony this morning.
Yes, thank you very much, Kendi. Yeah, that's good. That's where we need to go to achieve. Yeah, it's true that you made and we members helped make the holy ground. It was a very exciting time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Vivi, for sharing your testimony. It's time now for us to offer our unison prayer. So I'll just bring up the screen. Okay, let's pray together. Thank you. Jew. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for sharing with us this morning, Vivi.